Good evening to you all. Welcome to CSB Current Affairs Bulletin. Let us start today's news. Today's news I have collected from Live Mint, NDTV, the Hindu newspaper, Indian Express newspaper, and some of the civil services websites. Today's news, which are very important for exam, I have collected from various websites and I have collected from various newspapers, international newspapers also, international and newspaper. As far as possible, I'll try to tell where I have collected the news also. As many of the students are asking where from we can collect our current affairs, to what extent we have to read our current affairs. Let us start today's news. So this news I have taken from 2-3 channels. One is NDTV, second is Live Mint, and third is Indian Express. So from 2-3 places I have collected this news. The news is Prime Minister Modi is going to address India Ideas Summit tomorrow. IDEAS. Prime Minister Modi ji is going to address virtually Ideas Summit tomorrow on July 22nd, 2020. Remember, there is a very powerful council called US India Business Council, USIBC. This year it is celebrating 45th anniversary. US India Business Council, this year it is celebrating 45th anniversary. And this year theme is building a better future. This year the theme of the summit is building a better future. Modi ji is going to speak on how COVID have disrupted global supply chain, and also he will discuss on healthcare collaboration between India and US. In this summit, besides Prime Minister Modi, the US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, our External Affairs Minister Jay Shankar, our Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will also participate. And remember, the most crucial point is US India Business Council is a very strong forum, and it is crucial forum for development of India US business partnership, India US business trade. And here today in this summit, our Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal have attended, and he spoke virtually. In a virtual conference he spoke. Our Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal. You know what he said? Very crucial point. India and United States, they are going on, very closely towards signing a trade deal. India and United States, they are going on very closely to sign a trade deal. This is very important point. And you all know last year, US have withdrawn GSP to India. What is GSP? Generalized System of Preferences. GSP means Generalized System of Preferences. US have withdrawn. That means US is not helping in India with respect to trade support, trade benefits, with respect to trade subsidies. In US is not helping. Considering that India have grown enough in trade, India don't require any trade support. But now, Piyush Goyal said, India is seeking concessions in generic drug exports to the US. India is seeking concessions in the generic drug exports to the US. So, whatever generic drugs India is exporting to the US, India is seeking tariff concession. And in return, India is giving its markets. India is opening its markets, particularly dairy market and farm markets to the US. India is offering that I'll allow my markets for your dairy products. I will allow my markets for your farm goods. So in turn, you allow my generic drugs with subsidized prices. In turn, you allow my generic drugs with subsidized prices. So the news of the day, today and tomorrow, is India-US Ideas Summit, also called as US-India Business Council, USIBC. It is celebrating 45th birthday, 45th anniversary. Very important. So in this summit, India-US business partnership will be discussed, and American side and Indian side, various authorities are attending. So this conference is very important and you are expected to follow. And next important news for today. What is PASSEX? PASSEX. PASSEX is a passage exercise. PASSEX is a passage exercise. The Indian naval ships and US Navy's ship USS Nimitz, Nimitz, USS Nimitz, both have conducted, Indian naval ships and US naval ship Nimitz have conducted a passage exercise called PASSEX, PASSEX, in Andaman Nicobar Islands. There is a lot of discussion about this PASSEX. You know why? The reason is, when there was a India-China standoff, when there was a tension between India and China, India conducting such naval exercises, passage exercises with America, is a cause of concern to the world, particularly to China. Whether it is needed when India and China have a very strong entanglement. People say, India wanted to prove its naval power in the Indian Ocean region. India wanted to show its friendship power in the Indian Ocean region, and India wanted to deter the China, that China should not attack India in any way. So for all these reasons, there was a very big discussion on PASSEX, PASSEX. Kindly go through that very important news for today. And next important news, and I can say a news which also makes us to think twice, even it made me to think twice before telling it to you. The news is Sri Lankan government says there is enough facts to prove Ravana was the first to use aircraft, and Sri Lankan government asked citizens to help in research. So Sri Lankan government openly issued an advertisement in Sinhalese language. Sri Lankan government, in a recent newspaper advertisement in Sinhala language, the Civil Aviation Authority of Sri Lanka have asked the citizens to provide relevant documents from the public, asking them to contact email ID of the Civil Aviation Ministry, saying that King Ravana, who ruled Sri Lanka, King Ravana, who was a ruler of Sri Lanka, was the man who used ancient aircrafts, air routes in Sri Lanka. See, you all know Ravana in our mythology is a devil, is a demon. He was a demon. He was a villain, right? He fought with Lord Rama and he has taken away our Sita. So, Sri Lankan government believes that Ravana was the man who have flight the aircrafts in the Sri Lanka. It was a legend in Sri Lanka, and Ravana used to fly a machine called Dandu Monara, Dandu, Dandu, Monara. Ravana used to fly a machine called Dandu Monara, called a flying machine. It's an aircraft. It's an aircraft. Okay, Sri Lankan government is very serious about it, and they say that 5,000 years back, Ravana have used aircrafts. 5,000 years back, and let's see whether people will give some evidence to them or not. So Sri Lankan Civil Aviation Ministry, and for me, it's a funny thing, but it is a government, Sri Lankan government, a sovereign body have issued this thing, so we should not disclaim that. We should not disclaim that. Okay. So next important news. This news I have collected from Hindu editorial page. Indian Railways. In the editorial page there is an article about Indian Railways. You all know that recently Railways announced privatization of 109 railway routes. Indian Railways announced privatization of 109 railway routes with 151 private trains. Indian Railways gave permission to 151 private trains to run in the 109 railway routes. Now remember, in this 109 routes, it is not just 151 private trains. Government, Indian Railways will also run the trains. Along with Indian Railways trains, there will be private trains also allowed in 109 routes. Okay, that means Indian Railways privatization means, it does not mean, remember, it does not mean completely we are selling away railways. We are not selling away Indian Railways. We are not completely selling away Indian Railways. Only we are privatizing 109 railway routes. That is 151 private trains are allowed. That means in these 109 railway routes, even Indian Railways will also run the trains. Okay. Why in this 109 routes? What is the criteria that they have taken into consideration in these 109 routes? These 109 routes are the very busiest routes in Indian Railways. There is lot of demand, more number of passengers, but the trains are less. Government could not able to match. For that reason, there is a demand supply mismatch. In these 109 railway routes, there are more number of passengers but less number of trains. So this is demand supply mismatch. First reason. Second reason, according to Railway Board, modern technology will come if you privatize, if you bring private trains. Modern technology will come into railways if you bring private trains. Third thing, transit time will be minimized. If private trains comes, transit time, transportation time will be minimized. No delays, no delays. And Railway Board also said privatization brings better services. Privatization brings better services and also world class service. Better service, world class service. But in this privatization concept, which is a partial privatization, it is not a full privatization, which is a partial privatization, there are two important challenges. One is railway fares. In these 151 trains, the fares are completely controlled by private sector. The prices are completely determined. No government role, no railways role. The prices are completely determined. In all the 151 trains, the prices are not controlled by railways. Instead, they are controlled by the private sector. So there is a fear that the prices may go beyond common man's reach. The railway prices in this 151, the railway fares in these 151 trains might go beyond common man's reach. Okay. And one more thing. In these 109 routes, along with private trains, regular trains will also run. So if there's a mismatch in pricing, so railway trains and private trains, the trains belong to railway department and the trains belong to private department. If there is a difference of prices, again there will be a problem. And one more thing, if a private train commits an accident, if there is any safety problem, who is responsible for that? Who is accountable for that? Even this question got unanswered. So, and one more important thing, you are allowing private trains, only coaches, the tracks, the signaling, the railway stations, completely under the control of Indian Railways. The tracks, the signaling, the railway stations are all completely under the Indian Railways. Now, one more fear is that railway jobs will be lost. If you privatize railways, the present secure jobs will be lost. And in this background, I wish to tell you the core points that were written in today's Hindu paper. The core points that were written in today's Hindu paper. First point is Hyderabad metro model. So instead of privatization in this model, why don't you follow two alternative models? In today's Hindu paper, they have given two alternative models for privatization of railways. I wish to tell you those two models. Hyderabad metro, they have the government have taken control over land acquisition. The government acquired land. The government acquired power. The government is supporting in law and order. Remaining all the things are with the private sector. So government acquired land for Hyderabad metro. Government acquired power and the power and law and order. Remaining all will be taken by the private sector, Hyderabad metro. But private sector can decide prices, but the prices should be in consultation at the state government of Telangana. So in Hyderabad metro model, the prices can be taken care by the private sector, the fares, railway fares, but it should be in consultation with the state government. It should be in consultation with state government. So this model they have suggested for the privatization of Indian Railways also. That means you should not completely leave the railway ticket cost to the private sector because they may escalate the prices. The second alternative is in Indian Railways, we have an organization called IRCTC. Indian Railway Catering and Tourism Corporation Limited. IRCTC, Indian Railway Catering and Tourism Corporation Limited. Already IRCTC have run Tejas trains. Already IRCTC runs Tejas trains. What is IRCTC? IRCTC is a commercial wing of railways. It's a commercial organization of railways. So you can, instead of allowing private sector to run trains, you can allow IRCTC to run trains. Instead of allowing private sector to run trains, you can allow IRCTC to run trains. Even this suggestion is given in the editorial. So now tell me, why IRCTC? Why editorial, in this editorial page article, IRCTC was suggested? So there is one thing which you need to remember. It might be Indian Airlines, Air India, or it might be Indian Railways. It might be Air India or it might be Indian Railways. Both have become loss making because they run in welfareistic mode. They run in social welfare. Both now have become highly subsidized and they have almost went into losses. Now the solution is social welfare and commercial motive should be balanced. The social welfare and commercial motives should be balanced. We should not compromise social welfare for efficiency. We should not compromise efficiency for social welfare. So we should opt for a via media solution. We should go for a via media solution. So instead of allowing private trains, we can empower our IRCTC and ask IRCTC to run the trains so that Indian Railways will also have some control over trains. Because running train is a national obligation. Running train is also welfare. Running train promotes an infrastructure and transport. So this is the news about today's Hindu's editorial page article, Indian Railways. And next important article, Hagia Sophia. Hagia Sophia, Hagia Sophia. Hagia Sophia. Why Hagia Sophia is in news? Why Hagia Sophia is very, very important? See, recently, Hagia Sophia is in Turkey. First, remember, it is in Turkey. Recently, actually, this is a museum. And now it was turned into a mosque, masjid. Actually, Hagia Sophia is a museum. Now it turned into a mosque. Thus, it was built in the 6th century. 6th century. And it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Hagia Sophia is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Actually, it was built in the 6th century as a cathedral. Cathedral, a big church. Okay, by a Byzantine Empire. By a king in the Byzantine Empire. But later, when Ottoman Empire started, it was converted as a mosque. But again, it have become a museum in the rule of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. It have become a museum in the rule of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk in 1935. In 1935, last year, Turkey President Tayyip Erdogan said, I'm feeling very sad that Hagia Sophia is a museum. It should be a mosque. And suddenly, 3 days back, he converted. He said that Hagia Sophia is going to be a mosque, not a museum. And that means it was orthodox, conservative feeling. Actually, Hagia Sophia is a museum which will allow all religions, which will invite visitors from all religions. But suddenly, after almost 90 years, if you declare it as a mosque again, it shows the attitude of Turkish government. It shows the attitude of Turkish government, conservative attitude. And it is against secularism. It is against secularism. And critics are saying that. It shows the narrow-mindedness of Turkey government, Tayyip Erdogan government. And many NATO Western countries, friends of Turkey got angry on this. Friends of Turkey also got angry on this. And also Christians got angry on this. Even Christians are also not happy with that. Even Greece is not also happy with that. So Hagia Sophia, this is in news in today's Hindu newspaper. It was in the headlines in the editorial page. Hagia Sophia. You may get a basic question. What is Hagia Sophia? It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Yes. Recently, this is a museum but converted into mosque. Yes. It was constructed in the 6th century AD. Yes. Byzantine Empire. Yes. Basically, it was a cathedral. Yes. Okay, these type of questions you can expect. What is Hagia Sophia? Places in news, monuments in news, always important for UPSC. Places in news, monuments in news, always important for UPSC. And today, I have read a beautiful article in Live Mint. You can Google it. India's 21st century dilemma of global non-alignment. The article title is India's 21st century dilemma of global non-alignment. The similar article in different way have come in Hindu paper ninth page. Geopolitics of opportunity. What is this article all about? Our External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said. Our External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said, non-alignment is an old concept today. Non-alignment is an old concept today. But India will not be part of any alliance. India will not be part of any alliance. So, in a way, our External Affairs Minister clearly said that India is not so favorable to NAM, non-aligned concept. At the same time, India is not aligned to any country. And this is the news from Hindu. And in Live Mint, similar article, I told you, India's 21st century dilemma of global non-alignment. In this article, in Live Mint, the author said, China is growing as a great power. So they have other mostly narrated a story about China. You can read this article. And next important thing, there is a news from last 3-4 days that Iran have sent out India from Chabahar railway line project, a railway line project near Chabahar, Chabahar Jehedan railway project. But there is a news today, yesterday and today that Iran re-invited India. Iran said all other things are rumors. I have not disassociated India from railway project. In fact, the India continues to be our partner. This is Iran's statement. So for you, the homework is you need to locate the Chabahar project and why it is important for India also. Coming to next important article of today, Char Dham project. Char Dham project. So it was in news that some environmental activists are opposing. Environmental activists are opposing. The Char Dham project consists of widening and repairing 889 kilometers of highways, national highways. The Char Dham project consists of widening and repairing of 889 kilometers of national highways. Char Dham means four important religious places. Four places: Kedarnath, Badrinath, Gangotri, Yamunotri. Kedarnath, Badrinath, Gangotri, Yamunotri. So Chardham Yatra is very famous. It is very famous and it is involving 53 projects. The Chardham project is involving 53 projects and it is a 12,000 crore project. 12,000 crore project. And next important news, this is about food parks. This is about food parks. Zoram Mega Food Park in Mizoram. ZORAM. Zoram Mega Food Park in Mizoram. And government is encouraging food parks. And this is the first mega food park in Mizoram. Zoram, ZORAM, Mega Food Park. It's the first food park in Mizoram. Food parks are associated with which ministry? Ministry of Food Processing Industries. Ministry of Food Processing Industries. And you all know that we are promising Make in India. We are trying to achieve Make in India. So, food park scheme is very, very important. You need to go through that. You need to go through that. Under Mega Food Park scheme, the government is providing financial assistance up to 50 crores per Mega Food Park. Up to 50 crores per Mega Food Park. And presently, 18 Mega Food Parks are under implementation. 18 Mega Food Parks. And this Mega Food Park in Mizoram also is going to help Assam, some districts of neighboring districts of Assam. Very important news. And next news, this is a factual news. This is a factual news. You need to do work on that. The news is Bathynomus Rakshasa. Bathynomus. Bathynomus. Bathynomus Rakshasa. Recently, scientists have discovered the first supergiant isopod. You know what is an isopod? Isopod, it has so many legs and all legs are all equal and alike, like a crab. Uh, isopod, like a crab. All legs are similar, and generally it will have a flat body, a oval shape, round, flat body. Seven pairs of legs, walking legs. Okay, all legs will be in the similar size. All legs will be in the similar size. Just imagine a cockroach of a big size. Just imagine a cockroach of a big size. Okay, recently scientists have discovered a first super giant isopod in the eastern Indian Ocean region. Eastern Indian Ocean region called Bathynomus rakshasa. It has been described as a cockroach of the sea. It has been described as a cockroach of the sea. Why you can call, in what manner, what is the fact to be called, why you are calling this isopod as a supergiant? Isopods that have more than 50 centimeters width are called supergiants. Isopods that have more than 50 centimeters are referred as supergiants, and Bathynomus rakshasa is an isopod. As a scavenger, as a scavenger, Bathynomus rakshasa eats the remains of dead marine elements. It eats remains of dead marine animals like fishes, whales, etc. And this rakshasa, Bathynomus rakshasa, can stay without food for a long time. Can stay without food for a long time. Even cockroaches can stay without food for a long time. Okay. These are the important current affairs for today. And the notes for this current affairs you can get in our Telegram channel, Latha CSBIS Academy. The printouts of this current affairs, the PDF formats. And tomorrow we'll meet again at 9 p.m. Thank you.